My name's Anthony. I just wanted to give this testimonial to Riley Jarvis of the Sleep Consultant. So just getting straight to it, a little bit more about myself. So you might see some cats bouncing in and out. There's like a huge 7-foot cat tower here, so just disregard that. So a little bit more about myself. Day job. I work 8 to 9 hours at a logistics brokerage, very tech oriented industry. And if anyone's familiar with that, there are rows on rows on rows on rows on rows above you, below you, left to right, forward, back of just screens. And it makes sense. That's pretty much big businesses nowadays. I get it. So I'll get to that, why I mentioned that later. But on more a personal end, with some businesses I have, I own a publishing company and amongst some other things. So overall, I definitely learned real quick of how important sleep is with just well-being, clarity, that sharpness, just not even of creating projects or not even of partaking in a career or whatnot, just for your own well-being. I've learned real quick, and like I said, I'll share a little bit more on all of this. But I've learned real quick of the necessity of proper sleep. Now, on top of that, the importance of it for it to be I would say a high performer. I would say a high performer in your niche, in your sphere. Either if someone is, like myself, building businesses, or if they're involved at an executive level in their career, in their industry, that is going to be a lot more noticeable, a lot more noticeable than just, the bare basic necessities of just overall well-being, and overall health. It's going to be a lot more noticeable when someone's actually building something. So I've noticed that real quick, like I said, and this is so I've known Riley for quite a few years now, but unfortunately I didn't know him when I was way back in college, so 10 plus years ago. I remember that's when I had some serious insomnia. And like I said, unfortunately I didn't know Riley back then. Things would have been significantly different. I mean, if you're thinking about like the principle of compounding interest, if I knew Riley back then, yeah, my income, so many things, so many categories of my life would be so much different now. But I like I said, unfortunately I didn't back then, and that's all right. But yeah, back then, and hopefully, when I share some of this, hopefully people could relate with this, especially more in my generation. I'm 29. And yeah, so way back in college, had some serious insomnia and wonder why. Maybe because I was in front of the screens midnight plus, almost every day, either on my phone, on my smartphone. Back then, it was probably like an iPhone 4 or iPhone 5C, way back then. And yeah, so I was on my phone, just, looking at videos, nothing even specific. And on top of that, when I was doing like an all-nighter or attempting to do an all-nighter study session, oh yeah, computer, the MacBook Pro, the really thick ones back then. That was the thing. In front of the screens, in front of the lights, all of that. I didn't have that awareness. That's pretty much it. I didn't even know that was something significantly contributing to the poor sleep. So fast forward to all of that, if you see a different tint in these blue light glasses, I mean, back then, 10 plus years, over a decade ago, blue light glasses, I haven't even heard of that. That wasn't even a thing back then, at least in my sphere. So yeah, that was, I would consider that maybe as a gadget, not even as a principle or a real tip, a real technique. That's just something small that, me and Riley talk about pretty often. I have different ones on my bedside. They're more 360 degree, just deep orange ones that are really good about 2 hours before 2 hours before bed to kind of align with the circadian rhythm. But again, those are conversations that me and Riley have. Um, and I mean, I am very grateful. So I do have executive access to Riley, and I'll share a little bit more of what those calls and that experience is like, that environment that he creates. But yeah, like I said, I learned real quick of the importance of sleep and what it is like, and what my experience is like, and what my ability to create is like, or lack thereof, if I am well rested or not. So fast forward to here. Like I said, I have executive access to Riley, known him for quite a few years, personally and professionally. I'm very grateful we have that relationship. And yeah, so I would say, if I had to put it in just one word, I would say the environment that Riley creates really stands out. So especially going back to that time back in college, where I needed to be on emergency inhalers, and all this other, like, this medication, all this stuff. I've experienced all that. That's not my paradigm anymore, and I'm very grateful for that. I know even people now younger than me. I'm 29 right now, but in let's say, for example, the day job that I'm working at, people younger than me, they are on. It's like a thing. It's like a culture. The energy drinks, the vaping, the coffee, all of that, and not to judge people, who prefers that stuff, etc. But really, like, when it comes to sleep, that is not the way. That is, the people are going to learn real quick, and I hear this all the time of them not being able to sleep despite them, downing 2 energy drinks a day, over 200 milligrams of caffeine each, probably with some sugar or not. Either way, and then having some coffee and then vaping, all that stuff. That seriously adds a toll. I've been there, done that in many different ways, and I'm very grateful that I didn't need to go that route. Either with the sleeping medication or the stimulants to get me through the day, let alone to get some stimulation, some mental stimulation, where I would be able to partake in businesses, where I would be able to grow in businesses, or grow businesses themselves. So yeah, like I said, aside from the tips, the techniques, the principles that me and Riley have discussed, and he's taught me over time. Like I said, I would say the environment is very stand out for me of what he creates. And yeah, we are friends, and like I said, we had that relationship personally and professionally. But when it comes to a session, that I'm very grateful that the friend relationship is professionally put aside. And people on an executive level, they would know what I mean by that. And he really sets his time. He really dedicates that slot to what usually I kind of tell him beforehand, versus like freestyling, like on a call. I tell him beforehand so we can both come prepared. But yeah, either way, when he sets that slot, he is there. He is such a great listener. If anything, I accidentally interrupt him way more than, and I feel that I've been doing that a lot better, of just being an active listener, and just throughout my life. But man, like, seriously, like, he really listens, and I can imagine. So with us, we have calls, because I'm mostly like moving around sometimes. This is kind of rare that I'm literally just sitting right now, kind of having a video or a testimonial or a call like this. But yeah, I move around, so we're just mostly on audio. But seriously, like, it feels like that there's a saying in sales where, like, to smile through the phone, like clients can hear you smile through the phone. Now, I wouldn't say that he doesn't do that, but I would say it's more of, I can feel him listening through the phone. So it just feels like, if we did do the videos, sometimes we do, but it's not most of the time. But if we did do that, I wouldn't be surprised that he's literally, like, right there writing notes down, and just really, really absorbing what I'm saying. And that is really important, especially with, people who have more projects, people who are building businesses, or even people, the high level executives, high performers in their career, in their niches, that is going to stick out a lot more than, someone who just goes to a doctor to, get a really quick, like, like a little quickie, like that shit happens, in those types of fields, those mainstream fields. And I get it. It's the business model. And I get it. They probably have, like patient after patient after patient after patient. Not to say that Riley doesn't, because I know he's a busy guy. But again, just in the sense of the model, I've experienced firsthand that the doctors, it's in and out. I'm usually waiting for the freaking appointment to happen longer, significantly longer than the actual appointment, than the actual conversation. And looking back in my experiences, 10 plus years when I was really just sick on and off, just very constantly, let alone when I was way back then on the 90s diet. Forget it. Like that, I was sick so often. The 90s standard American diet. But yeah, that was I don't remember a single, if I do remember a single doctor's name, wasn't really significant. There was no significant relationship there, professionally, let alone personally. And it was definitely because either from their model or just the lack of personableness, if that's a word, and the lack of presence. I could just tell they were just listening to me to get me out to see the next person. And that is not the environment it's complete opposite of the environment that Riley creates. Like I said, active listening is there. That's very present. And I've come to have a very high standard, honestly, with the types of people that I want to open up to. And that goes, either, in different types of relationships, personal, professional, romantically. Like you get to a point where you have a standard. And again, at the professional level, when it comes to sleep, Riley really he exceeds that standard. He exceeds that standard. So for whoever's listening to this, I don't know, if you're just completely brand new, scrolling through a page just to kind of try it out, or if you have executive access like I do, or anywhere in between. But if that's something that you're looking for, again, from my experience, that's something I could transfer to you. That the environment is something that Riley really packs up and really creates, where things can really actually get done in a long-term sense. Now, I have learned, and I'm being mindful of the time here, but I have learned of there's quick tips and whatnot and very actionable insights. Yeah, definitely Riley provides that. But the thing that I value the most is the long-term game here, the long-term aspect that Riley understands, and that I need to feel like, okay, he's coming along on a journey with me. He's leading me on a journey with this, and I'm learning a lot along the way. And yeah, nothing's gonna be the same from that. So very grateful for that. But learn real quick that sleep is a huge foundation, a huge cornerstone of anything that I want to do in my life. I need to have sleep, and anything, either career wise, anything I'm building personally at a different level, with businesses, whatnot. Yeah, sleep is very important, and I'm very grateful that Riley is an asset to me. I really say that, an asset that I can have in my network, and I feel that I'm able to create what I want a lot more because I know that my sleep is going to be handled.